Hi everyone, Radhe Radhe. In this video, we're going to be doing chapter 15, verse 18. And this is very interesting. It's very different from in what Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said. So we'll read all three and we'll see, we'll figure out what he said is, and we'll try to understand it as best as we can. So let's invoke Bhagwan Shri Krishna's help. Let's ask him to help us understand this verse and help us understand the Gita and help us really, really, really absorb the Gita. Okay, let's call out to him. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Dear Bhagwan Shri Krishna, please help us understand this Gita so much. Please help us learn it, every verse if possible, the whole thing. Understand it in detail and understand the high level. Understand it in such a way that it penetrates our every cell in our body, that it enters the DNA of our body, so that every single thing that we see around in the world, we can have a Gita verse to explain that thing. Please help us understand it really, really well, so that with the ultimate purpose, not with the ultimate purpose just so that we can show off to the world and we can have like an intellectual conversation based on the Gita. Oh, look how powerful, look how intellectual I am, or whatever. But so that we can come closer to you, so that we can understand you, so that we can understand what you want, what you're saying to us, that will help us invoke bhakti. I know this is a very basic level thing, and you are talking about bhakti in this Bhagavad Gita, and there is so much more also beyond this. But whatever we can understand from this Gita, let us build this very, 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 very strong foundation, so that we can then understand other aspects, other limbs of bhakti from other Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and other books that we can study afterwards. But please, please, please help us understand the Gita in a very, very deep, fundamental way. Okay, let's sing the verse together. Yasmat Aksharamatiitoham Aksharadapi Chotamaha Atosmi Loke Vede Cha Prathitah Purushotamaha. So now here he's saying, because I am transcendental, beyond the fallible and the infallible, because I am the greatest, I am celebrated in both the world and in the Vedas as that supreme person. So he's saying, I am transcendental, I am fallible, I am infallible, I am fallible, he's also saying. This is very strange. I am the greatest, I am celebrated because of all of that. I am celebrated in the world and in the Vedas as the supreme person. So in the previous verse, he talked about Paramatma. And now it seems, according to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that he's talking about the Bhagvan aspect of it. So earlier, 2-3 verses earlier, he talked about Kshara and Akshara. Kshara meaning fallible, which is the human living beings, not human beings, all living beings, all souls, Jivatma, and Akshara, which is the infallible, which is so he's not saying I am the fallible, he's saying I'm beyond the fallible and the infallible. So he's okay, so the akshara means infallible. So within the akshara, I'm getting ahead of myself. So let me read the Prabhupada, the purport, and then we'll go to Swami Sarvapriyananda, and then we will go to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who explains this beautifully. I think this might be the first time that I'm reading a commentary by Bhaktivinoda Thakur that's actually clarifying things, because he just seems to make things much more complicated because he writes in such a complicated way. I'm like, say what? Okay, so what Prabhupada is saying is that nobody can surpass Krishna, neither the conditioned soul nor the liberated soul, because we're all Jivatmas, right? So he is the greatest of personalities, and he's talking about, again, of course, that we're individuals, not of course, that we're individuals, Jivatma and Paramatma, individuals. The difference is that the living entity, either in conditioned state or the liberated state, cannot surpass God, right? We're not equal in any level, right? We're always going to be inferior. And he is Uttama. He's used the word here, Uttama, the best. Ut, Uttosmi, Atosmi. Chottama. Cha Uttama. Cha also Uttama. Yeah. The word Loke signifies um, in the Purusha Agama. I don't understand that part. I'll skip that. Um, Okay, so now he's referencing Upanishads and things like that. So let me move on. Swami Mukanand says that Krishna has detailed his opulence is the source of all magnificence in nature, and even when he creates the universe, he does not go down. He does not deplete himself. He is not reducing just because he's creating the world. And he's called himself the Purushottam. And here now the question is that he's asking the question. I didn't fully understand this. I didn't read this detail enough to understand. But he's saying, does that mean that Purushottam is different from Krishna Bhagwan himself? And then he's saying, no, because in this verse he's saying aham. Aham, he's saying atito ham. Yasmat ksharam Atito Ham. I am transcendental. So he's talking about himself, and then he gives references to Upanishads as well. So now I'm going to go to Bhaktivinoda Thakur because I'm dying to go to Bhaktivinoda Thakur's thing. The third and most superior Akshar Purusha is called Bhagvan. I am that Bhagvat Tattva. I am beyond the Kshara Purusha Jiva, Kshara and Akshara. I am higher than the Akshara Purushas, Brahman and Paramatma. Therefore, I am called Purushottam by all the worlds and Vedas. Thus, you should know in conclusion that there are two Purushas, the Kshara and the Akshara. The Akshara Purusha has three manifestations. The ordinary manifestations, Brahman, higher than that is Paramatma, higher than that is Bhagwan. So this is in the commentary that he has explained that that's what he means by Purushottam here. And previously he talked about Paramatma. This is called talking about Bhagwan. That's what he's explaining. Okay. Yeah, so that's all for this verse. Let's see if I have something else. I've started this process again of listening to Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, and I started with his Bhagavad Gita overview. I would highly recommend you listen to Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. You can drop everything. You don't need to listen to this, what I'm posting at all. Just listen to Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. He's amazing. He's absolutely amazing. So I went to his YouTube channel, Chaitanya Charan Official, and he has these Bhagavad Gita overviews, about 1 to 1.5 hour videos on lectures on each chapter. So he has, I think, up to 16 chapters so far. I think he's doing once a week or something like that. So I started with the first one, and it's just beautiful. The way he explains things is so beautiful. And I've also started this process of studying the Bhagavad Gita shlokas with a friend. So I mean, it's going like we're taking our time. We're doing a lot, but we're revising. We're spending a lot of time revising. So that is helping. Like the way I was saying in the prayer that we wanted to be a part of the DNA, it is helping now, because when I'm going places and I'm seeing things and I'm seeing people talking, I'm like, oh, I'm reminded of this verse or that verse. And there's this new Tesla model that has come out that I really find very, very weird. It's there on the roads all the time. It's like this tanker. It's so ugly. It's like, I mean, apologies to anybody who's offended, who owns one of those or who likes one of those and is offended, but I find them so ugly. It's like this army tank kind of thing, and it's just that, I don't know, green, gray, brown, some ugly color. And people are driving those. So I was looking at that and I was like, why are these people driving all these people ready to fight, as if they're ready to fight? And then I remembered Gita Shlok 1, Samaveta Yuyutsava. And I was saying that. And my mom's here, so I was saying that to her and I was laughing. But it was fun. It was good, because I was like, okay, this is exactly what I want. This is what I want the Gita to become a part of me so much that I am thinking about the world through the lens of the Gita. And then I will be able to really understand much deeper what Bhagavan Shri Krishna is saying. I don't want to get into the trap of being just understanding it on an intellectual level and just whatever. I want to understand it so that I can get bhakti. This is something that somebody had explained to me recently. What's his name? Radhika Raman Prabhu, he had said that the most important verse for all Gaudiya Vaishnavas. The most important verse is this verse, I think, is it in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu? It's called Anya Bhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karma Dinavritam, or maybe it's Karma Jnana, no, Jnana Karma Dinavritam. Anukulena Krishnanu Sheelanam Bhaktirottama. So Anya Bilashita Shunya means I want nothing. Zero. Shunya means zero. Anya, other. Abhilashita is desire for a desire. I want no other desire for a desire other than Anukulena Krishnanu, other than Anukulena Krishna, other than something that is Anukul to Krishna, which is good for Krishna. I want whatever I want is good for Krishna. Whatever I want, I want whatever I want to be good for Krishna. Okay. And then the second line is, this is the thing that I'm getting at, Jnana Karma Dinavritam. So Jnana and knowledge, karma is work, adi, etc. Na avritam. I don't want it to cover it. So I don't want the intellect and the karma to cover what I'm doing. I don't want it to cover the bhakti. All I want is pure bhakti. So the gyan and the karma and everything else is there just purely just to assist us in the bhakti process, which basically chanting is the best way to do it, or gratitude exercises, or loving other people, as Vraj Bihari Prabhu says. So there are ways in which we can love Krishna, feel loved by Krishna and love Krishna. And all of this knowledge that we're doing, all of this studying that we're doing, we need to keep reminding ourselves over and over again. We don't want to become highly intellectual. We can be, but we don't want to get into the trap of believing that the intellect is everything. We want this to be supportive in our bhakti. Anya Bilashita Shunyam Anukulena Krishna. Right? We want nothing else other than what is Anukul to Krishna. That's it. So, yeah, with that warning, Chetavani, to myself as well as to anybody who is listening, let us close this video for now and study like mad. Yes, study like mad, because it will help bring the bhakti, but make sure that we have this very strong intention in our hearts that we want to bring the bhakti. We want to do this because we want to bring the bhakti in our hearts. Okay, wish you a day filled with tons and tons and tons of Krishna's grace and lots of spiritual growth. Radhe Radhe.